Hey everyone, I
Hi,
am Bradley Schneller. This is
Sarah Altabello.
Boom. I normally say her name, but I
I
thought
know
she
you
should
took
say it
me
first.
off guard a little bit
I know.
there.
You're like, do I say anything?
What's my name?
And this is, with that being said, a Rue Fitness podcast. Make sure to check us out on iTunes. It's there.
I know. Also, did you see these sweet logos we have now?
We got logos. We got a plant.
You can't see it, but there's like a really lovely halo light.
It's a halo light. We decided to move it inside of our studio, which I'm calling now our studio, mostly because we will no longer sound like we're in a tin can when
I
you're
mean,
listening to us.
which is essentially what we were in.
We were in a
Was in
tin.
8,000
I
square foot tin
really, I
can.
really like doing it in the gym because the background was really good. You normally had Bob, who's a super jacked 45-year-old, 50-year-old, working out in the background.
Super Jack Bob. That's all you
Super
need to know.
jacked Bob. The music was always tight, but you just couldn't hear us as well. So here we are
Yeah,
inside the studio.
it was a good time. But
And you
this
might
is
be wondering
fun.
what that is. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are listening, I'm pointing to our Stacked Coaching logo on the wall.
Yes.
But you will find out very soon what that is. So
Big things coming.
awesome. Well, we are near the holiday season.
We are.
Or
We're
we're
kind of
in the
in
holiday
the
season.
thick of it now
Right.
at this point.
So let's start off with the icebreaker. Icebreaker is, what is your favorite thing about the holidays? Make sure to comment below. And if you're listening on iTunes, you can leave a comment in the reviews.
That's
So,
so funny to think about.
what's your favorite thing about the holidays?
As corny as it sounds, I do really enjoy all of the family together time. Even when we get together for like people's birthdays and stuff during the year, there's a lot else going on, but
Right.
it's like everyone is committed to just being together. That, and I just really love Christmas Eve. Like
I love Christmas Eve too.
specifically, we watch Love Actually
Ooh.
every Christmas Eve, and I really look forward to that.
I actually love all the non-traditional holiday movies.
Yeah.
Like the Hallmark movies. I
Nightmare
watch
Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Although, I can't remember. Did you know that movie is actually from a book?
I feel like I've heard that.
And I read the book. I bought the book for Brennan, and I've
Yeah.
read it 3 times now. And the book is frightening as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of has to be. Like, I can't imagine describing the things in the movie.
The
and it
book
being,
is
like,
definitely
hysterical.
a Christmas book.
Yeah.
Yeah, reading it. I mean, we read it for Halloween, but it's definitely a Christmas book.
Hmm.
So I'm throwing that out there. Like, whenever we have that argument, is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? Having read the book, it's 100% a Christmas movie. So
Yeah. You will never change my mind. It's a Christmas movie. So I also watch that one, but it's not like the Christmas Eve tradition. It'll
Right.
get watched like the week before Christmas.
This isn't the question, but my favorite thing right now about the holidays is watching Curious George Christmas with the kids
That's
and
awesome.
like baking cookies. So
Ooh, yeah.
I loved baking in the holidays. Not bacon, baking, ing.
Yeah, I mean, I always like bacon, but yeah, when I was growing up, I on my mom's side, there were a lot of cousins. So my grandmother, they had like a screened-in back porch, and around Thanksgiving, my grandmother would make the dough, and we would
Mhm.
all do like sugar cookies and decorate them. And my grandmother like sewed each grandkid their own
Right.
apron.
Things I don't love about the holidays are pralines.
Specifically frolies.
People want to give everybody pralines, and maybe it's because of how our nutrition has evolved over the years and like
Yeah.
our lack of sugar. And when we eat sugar, it's like dark chocolate.
Right.
To where like I eat a praline and I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
So I don't dislike it, but a lot of people don't like when I say like I don't like pumpkin pie and pecan pie. Like I
love
will
pecan pie.
pecan pie. I'm like okay, but it's not.
It is. It depends on the pecan pie. If it's like the gooey inside, it's too sweet.
Yeah, exactly, and that's
Yeah.
what most people bring because that's
Right.
what they like sell at the store.
Yeah. So other things I don't like about the holidays are the stress.
Yeah, it's a great time, but it was honestly like once I became an adult and got married that I was like, oh, like my life is it. When you're a kid, it's a break.
Right.
When you're an adult, especially I feel like if you're in a relationship, it is like planned out to a T. You have friends that are in town that want to do things. You have multiple families to visit, or like I know with us, my husband's family, his parents separated when he was young, so we have to see the mom side and the
Right.
dad side, and it gets really challenging.
Yeah, and I mean all these like circumstances which are very demanding. I mean,
Right.
everybody's demanding something of us in the
Even if
holidays.
it's just your time.
Yeah, it's a huge strain on not only our mental state but our emotions as well.
Right. And like I say all of this, having great relationships across the board with all of the families in my life and
Hmm.
all of the families that I am a part of. So I can't imagine for people where it's maybe a strained relationship,
That's tough.
how
Yeah.
much tougher it is to be expected to spend time with your family when, I don't know, maybe you don't talk
No,
the rest of the year.
yeah, I mean, so look, when you're stressed out, normally your nervous system is flooded with all kinds of stress hormones and
You go into fight or flight mode when you're stressed out.
yeah, what are some things that your body reacts to or some things that might happen
When I'm stressed
when
out,
you're stressed out or anyone,
yeah, I
not
mean,
you specifically.
well, before we get into that, I know specifically for me, my sleep is super disrupted.
Hmm.
And then I personally retain water like crazy. So I
Hmm.
just feel bloated and lethargic and I'm not sleeping on top of it. Um, but for anyone, when you're stressed, you can experience depression, anxiety. You might experience high blood pressure. It might lead to eating disorders. I mean, there's a reason people like stress
Binge.
eating is a
Right.
thing, and
Right.
like emotional eating is a thing that we talk about a lot. And um, a lot of people experience like skin and hair problems. Like people's
Blood
hair.
pressure rises, which is increased road rage during the holidays. Like I hate driving in between. Those 2 weeks
Yeah.
leading up to Christmas, it's nuts. Like just stay off the
Especially
road.
because, okay, so leaving Rue, if you take this road called Causeway,
Hmm.
Causeway, a couple mile, well, I say a couple, a few miles down from us is where the big mall is.
Right.
So it is a pain to get out of here those couple weeks
Hmm.
because I feel like people are feeding into the mall and all of the like stores around it.
Right. So if you let the stress linger, though, it can create some long-term side effects as well.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And I know, a lot of them we kind of talked about with
Right.
depression, anxiety, mental health problems, but another could include some physiological problems as well. Heart disease, cardiovascular disease.
For women, this could affect your menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
And then for anyone, this could affect like your sex drive.
For sure, for sure. The people that probably have kids and are married, they're probably not having sex that much anyway. But during the holidays, they're definitely not having a lot of sex. Well, I mean, look, off topic here. Like
Yeah.
that's the big thing. We're talking about all the issues with stress.
Right.
But when you are single and you're dating, or you just got into a relationship with someone, yes, you're having sex like bunnies and rabbits out
Of
there
course.
because there's not a lot of stress.
Yeah.
You move in with someone, and now you're bringing your stress home, and now you put your stress on that other person, and now, yes, you don't feel like having sex.
Yeah. And not just that, but I feel like a big thing that feeds into that is when you're stressed, I find like we usually don't communicate as well with
Right.
all of the people around us at work, at home. And when communication is bad, it's puts a strain on that relationship, and
Absolutely.
that makes it even more stressful.
Yep. And then what happens when we're super stressful is then we go into some type of poor eating habit. We talked about binging.
Yeah.
And the eating disorders, and people put on 10 to 15 pounds in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like that can easily happen.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a reason Emily and I's first nutrition seminar together, we talked for an hour about like emotional eating, and we could have talked about that for like 3 hours.
Right.
And a big win for me this week, but I have a nutrition client who said this is the first year she doesn't feel that way, but she said every year that she can remember as an adult, she just resigns herself to the fact that starting at between Thanksgiving and New Year's, she's just going to put on 10 to 15 pounds and she'll deal with it later. Like she just gives up. She's like, whatever, I'm just going to have to deal with this January 1st.
Any plan for this
What do you mean?
year?
She just feels in control.
Yeah,
Like
good.
she's been on a really steady path and she feels like she's got some really good habits in place and she's motivated and she wants to continue to feel the way she feels. So she's motivated to keep eating the way she's been eating.
Yeah. Um, awesome. So, you know, what are some ways that we can fight that stress
During the
during
holidays,
during the holidays
specifically?
specifically?
Um,
I mean, look, all of this can help with stress in general, but doing some little tiny tricks just during the holidays which puts you out of your routine.
yeah.
Um, what are some things we can do during the holidays?
I mean, I think a big thing that happens during the holidays is just that we put ourselves on the back burner.
Right.
So I say this a lot, but I really believe it during the holidays, doing one thing every day that is just for you, that you might consider selfish, but like maybe it is carving out that 30 minutes or that hour to work out. I think is huge because we end up giving so much of ourselves and
Yeah.
our time during the holidays. It feels really selfish to take that time, I think sometimes, but you
But
need
have
to.
to. Otherwise, you
have
might
to.
blow up at your kids. You might blow up at your spouse. You could be grumpy at work.
Yeah, and if you're stressed with like end of the year stuff at work, that might be like a whole nother
hmm
thing.
Right.
So,
So, we talked about fighting the stress. One of the main things during the holiday season that causes a lot of stress is travel. Um,
yeah, I feel like garbage when I travel.
yeah, yeah. I mean, travel is tough, especially because you're dealing with all the stress of the holidays. Then you're adding in travel stress, tons of people at the airport, baggage issues. If you're flying out of the new MSY, you probably had a time trying to get there, okay?
Well, and
because they didn't
like
build a road.
for like you and I or someone that is conscious of their nutrition and has good habits, eating airport food or like snacks from the gas station as you travel
What's
to
your go-to snack at a gas station?
peanut butter M&Ms.
Oof.
Peanut butter M&M. Good thing. So I did a trip to Alabama a couple weeks ago and we stopped beforehand and that was all I wanted and they didn't have any. So I was saved from the road trip snacks, but that's mine. What's
My
yours?
top two things at gas station snacks are a Pellegrino. I get a giant bottle of Pellegrino.
Of course.
Bless. And I get a bag of beef jerky. And this is how crazy I am, guys, is that
Let it out.
I will read like all 15 bags of beef jerky to find the ingredients that I want on the beef jerky.
I mean,
That's not terrible, right?
no.
The third thing will be like a trail mix that
Yeah.
has like decent ingredients, but with like some chocolate in it.
So another thing that I will absolutely get if I see it are the Chex Mix like Muddy Buddies.
hmm
Sometimes they have those.
Now, this is how much I've evolved, actually, because when I used to go to the gas station, it was like some type of soda and a honey bun.
It was the grandma's peanut butter cookies
Mhm.
and a bag of Doritos. That's what I used to do.
Man, I haven't had Doritos in a long ass time.
I know. It's been a minute.
I had a Cheeto the other day because my son's really into Cheetos right now. And if you guys forgot what a Cheeto tastes like, it tastes pretty good.
Right?
We're a little bit
Designed to
off topic.
But all of that is to say, I think especially for people like us that do work really hard, like 95% of the year to eat well, not only does travel take a toll on our bodies, like no matter how you're traveling, but also just the way we eat when we travel. It really has an effect on my energy levels and my mood and
when we go to Peachtree City for the holidays, either Thanksgiving or Christmas. This year we're not going there for Christmas because we are headed to Hawaii. Holler.
not excited
I
at
just
all.
said holler with an ER. That was pretty lame. But anyway.
Holler.
Holler, guys. We're going to
Continue.
Hawaii. But anyway. Like what I was trying to say is I work out like half the time I'm there, at least. And
Right.
even if that's like a 30-minute run because I can't get to another CrossFit gym.
Mhm.
This year for Thanksgiving, for travel, I'm going to hit up an Orange Theory while I'm there just to check it out. I haven't been to an Orange Theory yet, so I thought that might be fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to try a Barry's Boot Camp, but it's on the north side of Atlanta, which is an hour there. And
Oh no.
Emily said that we can't drive an hour to spend an hour to drive an hour back.
Yeah, that's a 3-hour commitment for a boot camp.
I mean, I'm in, but she's not, and she thinks it's rude. So that's probably right. I'm not that good on determining what's rude and what's not rude. So, because like you said, I carve out a little bit for myself every day during the holidays.
Holler.
Holler. So, but family, if you're listening, I still love you guys. I just like to work out. I want to try new things. That's all. So there is a CrossFit gym, a couple of different CrossFit gyms I go to. One of the main ones I go to in Peachtree City is CrossFit PTC.
Right.
Shout out to Rick. You run a good gym. And sometimes like I'll just go for a run in the woods because they have still pretty woodsy back there.
Yeah.
And I'll hit that up and I'll go 30 minutes. And it's a pretty tough 30 minutes because it's undulating the entire time.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's a pretty good trail run. So
yeah.
The other thing I do a lot to try to keep my mood up is drink a lot of wine.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, this is going to sound really terrible because we're talking about like togetherness, but I have gotten a lot better in the last few years at either saying no or so one thing that gives me anxiety all the time in life is being late.
Right.
But around the holidays, like not if people say like party starts at 7, it's fine. Like I've had to tell myself it is fine if you show up at 7:45, 8 o'clock. Like there's it's not like the whole event is dependent upon when I show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just kind of being, I don't know. We know we can't be in two places at once, but actually kind of accepting that.
Yeah. Also, you know, we talked about some of the ways to fight the travel stress, and one of those is making sure you get enough sleep. And so, just a couple tricks or things to keep you or to assist with your travel sleep would be maybe have a CBD melatonin gummy.
Yeah.
You know, you could check that out. There are other options out there.
Yeah, I really don't know what all of us did before we all started regularly.
Now I take something before I go to sleep every night. Like it's really pretty bizarre, but it helps a lot. One of the other things you do, download the White Noise app on your phone. That way you don't have to physically bring a white noise machine. That's pretty good. If you don't like the actual white noise sound because it's on loop and you can actually hear the loop, they have like an air conditioned fan that's like, which is a lot better.
Yeah. And also just not falling asleep with the TV or on your phone. Yeah. Listen to something, read a book.
Which, for a lot of people that have trouble falling asleep, one of their normal things to do is turn the TV on or look at their phone or anything. If you pop some melatonin or a CBD gummy 30 minutes prior to going to sleep, you don't need to do that because you will go to sleep. Guaranteed. Yeah. Cool. So the other thing is, you know, getting out of our normal eating habits. Any recommendations? Because you're a nutrition coach, Sarah.
One of the biggest things I tell people now in terms of like actual Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, I find, and I used to do this, and I find like a lot of clients do this, we kind of almost like starve ourselves leading up to it. And then that's when we kind of overdo it. Yeah,
I used to do that too. Like I wouldn't eat until like I wouldn't eat breakfast or anything like that.
Yeah, like Wednesday night I would be like, okay, dinner's done at 7. I'm just going to eat at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Right, and crush it. And then you overeat a lot.
I'm starving by the time I get food in my body, so I'm eating really fast. And so because of that, my body's not telling me when it's full, so I keep eating.
Now, this tip doesn't go out to everyone because if you were used to fasting, like me, like I fast, that I'm not that hungry by the time it gets to Thanksgiving dinner. Plus, I'll eat some appetizers when I get to wherever I'm going. But I will also not gorge myself due to a lot of tips that you and Emily and the rest of the nutrition team here at Rue give us. Some of those being, what would be some tips to help us not get that second or third plate of food?
Just kind of eating slowly. I just talked about like you eat super fast, your body doesn't have time to tell you that it's full, essentially. So make a plate, get a little bit of everything you want. Don't
It's not a
deny
race.
yourself there, but then sit down and eat it slowly and enjoy the company. I would say also just like once you finish that first plate, or if you have your first glass of wine really quickly, just like wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The food's not going anywhere. The people aren't going anywhere.
You said a really interesting thing, and that's one of the things that I do is Sarah said get a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I will actually get a smaller bit of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Taste everything, see what I like the most, and then just go back and get that item.
Yeah.
Or those 2 items, and then that's kind of rounds out my meal. Instead of filling up a plate, there was something I really liked, and now I'm going back to get that still, and now I just had a 3,000 calorie meal.
Yeah, that happens really
Which is
easy.
real easy to do. So.
Yeah, that's the biggest tip. Is just eat it slowly, and I think it also just goes down to like enjoying your company. Like there should be conversation over the table,
Right.
At Thanksgiving and the holidays. And if everyone's stuffing their faces like it's the last meal they're going to have, they're probably not having any conversation as well.
Yeah. I mean, some other tips to try to help with the holiday stress is probably like meditation. Now, I am not a meditation person. Like, I cannot meditate to save my life. I downloaded all the apps, Headspace, all that other stuff. I can't do it.
Right.
But what I can do and practice is just letting shit go.
Mm-hmm. So I did meditation like briefly.
Mm-hmm.
It was good, but the thing that is always stuck out to me the most that they said was to like the goal of meditation is not that your brain is like clear of thought, and I think that that's why a lot of people don't do it, because they can't kind of create white noise in their brain and they get really frustrated by that. But it's said to think about when you are actively meditating to treat your thoughts like cars on a highway. So if you're looking at the highway, you acknowledge the thought, you see it, but then you also see it go away, like it goes by.
I love that. In terms of something that's not mindful, we talked a lot about exercising during the holidays to try to boost our endorphins and make us happy, reduce stress, all that stuff. But it's okay to like go for a quick run or go to a workout in the morning on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
One of the things that I don't do is Christmas morning is kind of like, I definitely don't work out Christmas morning, but I normally work out the day before and the day after, which kind of takes care of it. But Thanksgiving, I know I need it, right? And it kind of helps with my digestion some. So I definitely work out in the morning, and whether that's a run or a workout, normally it's a workout here.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of races, the turkey race out at City Park.
I know for me, it gives me like a boost of energy in the morning.
And so where I'm going with this, though, is that like I wanted to give a shout out to my cousin Lauren Kenny. She normally, after our Thanksgiving meal, before we have coffee, rounds everyone up and we go for a walk in the neighborhood.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like a group walk. And it's not overly long. It's very slow, but it's maybe like 30, 45 minutes.
Right.
And
when most people would be like napping.
Right.
On the couch.
It's like 6 to 8 blocks. We're all walking. Might have a glass of wine in tow.
Yeah.
But it totally makes us feel better
Yeah.
Afterwards. And so I really appreciate that. And that's something like I never would have done unless she like gets up and says, hey, let's all go for a walk.
Right.
So I love that a lot. Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other things to add? Any other tips?
I don't think so. I mean, it's here, y'all. The holidays. I don't know how that happened.
Here. I want to go this real quick. So we talked about what do we like most about the holidays. Let's end it on this. Just what stresses you out the most about the holidays? So like pick one thing.
Okay, specifically Thanksgiving Day. The really cool thing is that all of the family units live in Lakeview.
Right.
But because of that, everyone wants us to spend time with them.
Right.
And like my family and my husband's mom and stepdad, they start Thanksgiving lunch at the exact same time 5 blocks away.
That stinks.
And it doesn't matter like whose house we go to first, and they are super understanding, but it stresses me out that we are like actively not with one of them. And then it's like as soon as we have seen both of them, there's no time to relax. We see his dad's side of the family, who is like a 5-minute drive from that. And it's like by the time we get to his aunt's house, I'm just like...
I feel that. I feel that.
I feel nobody is making me feel bad but myself,
Right.
but I feel badly not being with everyone
Yeah.
when they want us to be there.
So the thing that stresses me out the most is Emily's stress.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like I don't have a single thing that stresses me out except that watching her be stressed out over the
Yeah.
holidays stresses the fuck out of me.
Right.
Okay.
You take it on too.
Yeah. And part of that is the thing that stresses her out the most during the holidays
Right.
is buying gifts.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's not that she doesn't like to participate in gift giving, but when you are budgeting, and I know her stance on this, when you're budgeting and you're just like spending money to buy a gift for someone just to give them a gift,
Right.
and it's crap that's just going to add to their more crap. I know she's not really into that.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of why I like Thanksgiving over Christmas.
Yeah, because
Is
you don't
because
have to worry about
Thanksgiving
that.
is everything that's great about Christmas minus the gift giving.
Minus the expectation.
Right. There's no expectation. We don't have
Right.
to give you a gift. It's just let's get together, have this really awesome experience together, eat good food, drink good wine,
Watch some football.
watch football, and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, that's what stresses me out the most, but that's what I love the most about Thanksgiving. So
This is a kind of random story, but it makes me think my aunt, when Furbies were a thing, my cousin and I really wanted one, and my aunt was working at Walmart, and my aunt was really stressed out for like 3 weeks, and we didn't know why. And we found out when we got our Christmas presents Christmas Eve, my cousin and I both got a Furby. My aunt bought them before Walmart like put them on the shelves,
Mhm.
and she almost got fired.
Oh,
So that was a holiday stressor for her.
yeah. So, awesome. Well, you heard it here first, guys. Do not purchase something if you work at a store before it's put on the shelf. So
Yeah. I mean, she kept her job, but it was kind of dicey, and like none of us knew that. Like that's why she was so upset for like 3 weeks.
awesome. Well, before we close out, if you are interested, if you find that the holidays are stressing you out and your nutrition is all over the place and you need coaching, where can people go?
They can go to the Rue Fitness website.
That's Rue.fitness.
Yes, Rue.fitness. There is a nutrition bar. And check out the info on individual coaching. And from there, you can go ahead and schedule an initial consultation.
Yeah. We have 4 nutrition coaches, all very different backgrounds, so we can pair the right people with the right person.
Mhm.
We got 2 coming waiting in the wings, so we're there to take care of your needs. And then we have the other stuff released soon. If you guys need a good workout, come check us out. First class is free.
Yeah.
Go to Rue.fitness. So awesome. We hope you have a awesome holidays and blessed holidays.
Holler.
Emoji style. Holler. All right.
That's how we're going to sign off from now.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Holler.
Holler. Bye.